Today on the Behind the Reel, I'm going to show you the secrets to forced perspective that was used in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Hello everyone, my name is Ben Farmer and welcome back to Behind the Reel, where I talk about how films are made, the techniques that were used so that you can use them to make cinematic magic in your next project. Like I said, we're talking about Lord of the Rings today and forced perspective, so let's jump right in and look at this scene together.
Visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
And what about very old friends?
Gandalf?
Bilbo Baggins.
Dear Gandalf.
Good to see you. 111 years old. Who would believe it? You haven't aged a day.
Come on, come in. Welcome.
This is really incredible stuff. Like, this was probably one of the first times that when I was sitting in the theater watching this movie, it was just like, wait, hold on. How did they get this to happen? So this one is actually a pretty cool splicing. What they did is they had a robot camera, which I'm gonna call it robot camera just for simplicity, and they had a movement of the camera and everything dialed in so that they could rewind and play the movement so it would be exactly the same. The camera wouldn't shift 2 degrees to the right or anything like that. So that way everything is seamlessly stitched together. They filmed one scene with Sir Ian McKellen in the smaller scale house, so the Hobbit-sized scale house, and then they filmed Ian Holm, who plays Bilbo Baggins, in a larger scale, more like human size, and then they stitched them together. And what's really unique about this, if we keep watching, so you got Gandalf with his staff and his hat, and then he hands it over to Bilbo, and Bilbo takes it, and now you can see it's a massive staff and a massive hat. Same thing here. They just had bigger props and a bigger hat for Bilbo to grab. Now, it was very interesting how they did this, because what you don't see is somebody that is standing in a green screen suit and that hands this stuff or is holding this stuff so that Ian can grab it or Bilbo can grab it and walk with the oversized things. So it's a very, very, very interesting and very tricky shot to perform, but they did it really well. So let's keep watching here. So you see nothing, the camera hasn't cut yet, so we haven't really cut away from anything.
Just tea, thank you.
This is all still the same shot. And then we cut away from here. Ian McKellen did actually hit his head there. So we're gonna stop right there. So let's go back through this scene really quick. I'm gonna rewind to when he walks in the door here. And you can see Ian goes behind Gandalf, and this was all performed in post. So when you stitch 2 shots together, you have to mask out things that weren't there in the original, or you have to mask around things that are there. So it's a very tricky thing. And you can look in the very back here. So you can kind of see where there's I wouldn't call it a mistake, but you can kind of see where the 2 shots are blended together here. Okay, so pay attention to the shadows here, and this is what's going to give it away. So you see the staff comes into frame, but it's standing upright. And the way Gandalf is holding it, it is sort of leaning to the left there, or to the right. And then it stays pretty still, and then they take it, and it goes away. So what's cool about this is that they use the background and the shadows from Ian Holm's shot with everything scaled up, and then Sir Ian McKellen playing Gandalf was on a separate plate, and they masked him in.
We did scale tests in pre-production, and we basically staged shoots where we picked scenes from the inside of the prancing pony, and we had big sets and small sets, so we had the different scales. And we had someone playing Frodo, and we would be staging these, different looks, and we would be experimenting with different lighting, and we would be experimenting with depth of field, and we would try out all these techniques in order to sort of work out what worked and what didn't, so that by the time we actually started principal photography and we had the cast on set, that we weren't going to waste their performance.
The thing about forced perspective, when you know how the technique is done, you can do it yourself at home, and even on your iPhone you can do it. But, you know, you just got to line everything up just right and have your characters looking at each other in the right direction. And if you have anything interacting with the background and with the scene, you want to make sure that it looks appropriate and size appropriate. So keep those things in mind, and I think you'll have a really cool forced perspective in your next project. All right, that's a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you learned something. I'm going to be talking about Lord of the Rings again in the future, so if you have something from the series that you want me to talk about or explain, please let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to do these episodes. They're so much fun, and I appreciate all your support, so please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.